So some players get very creative for better or for worse. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into some of the weirdest tennis serves ever seen. We have the unusual serve from Tomas Berdych. The Czech serve is very effective and sets itself apart from the huge hang time of the ball in the air. The serves themselves are very fast, giving him a real advantage in this service game. It's almost like charging up an attack in a video game. You were undoubtedly expecting it, and here it is, the Nick Kyrgios underarm serve. Although he might not have invented it, Kyrgios has certainly mastered it. Here, he uses it to great effect to win the point and set. It really destabilizes opponents and can throw them off their rhythm. You can tell he enjoyed that one. In this clip, Federico Delbonis showcases his bizarre serve technique. Before he even tosses the ball, he holds his racket very high up, then launches the ball far upwards. His entire motion is quite slow and his racket swing is unusual to say the least. Might not be the prettiest looking serve, but if it works, who cares? Here's a rather incredible serve from Lukas Rosol. Rather than using the traditional continental grip to serve, Rosol uses the semi-western grip. He sacrifices power for trickery and deceives Federer by serving in a different direction than he's expecting. It's very difficult to generate any power on such a serve. Hopefully, this type of serve can gain more popularity on the tour. Next up is another ex-professional player named Brosh. Yet another left-hander on this list. He finishes his serving motion almost before he even strikes the ball. Just look at the way he hits the ball on the way up, giving him a lot of slicing opportunity. In this match, he managed to defeat Ivan Lendl, the #1 in the world at the time. Maybe the serve is key. Time for another underarm serve, this time from the wacky but wonderful Alexander Bublik. He tricks opponent Garin with his cheeky little underarm serve, winning him the game in the process. His opponent isn't happy, but Bublik certainly hasn't broken any rules with his totally legitimate serve. Genius or unsportsmanlike? I like to think genius. Now it's time for Nicholas Jarry. Jarry chooses to raise his racket above his head before he even tosses the ball. He then waits and smashes it, generating a lot of speed. Although it might look odd, he strikes the ball very cleanly, leading to very good serves. The slow motion is unconventional poetry in motion. In this clip, Karatsev is in a second set tiebreak after losing a tiebreak for the first set. He misses his first serve and then does this. One of the most baffling tennis serves of all time. I really don't understand how this has even happened. Props to the Russian for apologizing to the umpire at least. After all, he did almost kill him. That man Kyrgios again, down 15-40 in this game and needing to win the next 2 points to avoid getting broken. He misses his first serve. Does he go safe on the second serve? Of course not. Instead, he spanks it as hard as he can, winning the point with an emphatic ace. What are you supposed to do against a second serve like that? Pierre Hugues Herbert must have been inspired by McEnroe for this serve. He turns his back almost completely to the net, and his arms are very wide throughout the serve. His back leg also kicks up very high after his serve motion. Have a look where it's positioned at the end of his motion. He looks like a bird taking flight. Our next serve is a bit different to what we've seen so far and involves Herbert again. In an Australian doubles match, Nicolas Mahut rifles a serve straight at Herbert's head. The ball is traveling very fast and ricochets away. Ouch! I'm surprised that didn't take his head clean off. Since retiring as a tennis pro, Mansour Barami has entertained fans worldwide with his on-court antics and exhibitions. Watch one of his signature serves here as he completely deceives his opponent here. Do you think you could get this serve back? Could be worth trying in a professional match. Now we have Alexander Dolgopolov's unique serve. At first look, it might not look like unusual, but the more you see it, the more you will spot. Firstly, he hits the ball on the way up instead of down. He gets a lot of airtime as well, jumping high, even though his ball toss is quite low. A second serve ace is always entertaining. We've seen Kyrgios and Bublik's underarm serve, but now let's take you back to 1989 and the French Open. Seriously struggling with movement against one of the best players in the tournament, Michael Chang had to resort to unconventional tactics to win this point. Just look at this man's reaction. Tennis heritage right there, one of the most iconic moments in tennis history. This may just be the most unconventional serve in the history of tennis. Brian Battistone tosses the ball up high with his right hand, then transfers his racket to his right hand and jumps high and forward to make his serve. There's a lot to take in with this one. It looks more like a volleyball serve than a tennis one. That brings us to the end of this video. Which was the weirdest serve and which was your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already.